Now to a troubling and deadly trend in Colorado's domestic violence cases. The latest numbers show a third of domestic violence killings are committed by someone with an active protection order against them. And guns are the predominant weapon used in more than half of those deaths.
Tonight, 13 Investigates uncovers the tragic impact of those numbers by delving into the case of a Pueblo mother who was gunned down by her ex-boyfriend. Our investigation found documented repeated cries for help and a killer arrested multiple times who should never have had access to a gun. But first, a warning. This report contains graphic, never-before-seen video that may be difficult to watch.
Here's Sean Rice with this 13 Investigates special report, Failed by the System.
On a cold January night this year, surveillance video shows 59-year-old Jerome Bustos peering into this Dollar General in Pueblo. He's looking for his ex-girlfriend, Renee Dominguez. The two exchange words in the parking lot, and then Renee is seen running back into the store. What follows? A barrage of bullets that Pueblo police say were fired by Bustos. Renee died at the store that night. Bustos drove to Colorado Springs, where police say he died by suicide hours later. Renee's closest friends say she had warned them that her life was in danger.
She knew. She had a feeling for months, no, for weeks. She's been telling us all, I'm going to die, he's going to kill me. I could feel it.
Renee's cries for help began 3 months earlier on November 7th. Pueblo police respond to a domestic violence call at a home on Desert Candle Drive in North Pueblo.
We beat the shit out of women all the time.
A neighbor across from the home gives officers a warning before they enter the home.
So crazy, be careful. Okay, we will.
Once inside, officers separate Dominguez and Bustos.
Did anything get physical at all?
No, we just talking, screaming. Okay. She was screaming, I was screaming, she called her mom to come get her.
Officers wrote that they observed bruising and dried blood on Renee's neck and drops of blood throughout the house.
All right, Jerome, go ahead and place your hands behind your back for me.
Police arrest Bustos on assault and domestic violence, both misdemeanor charges. After his arrest, a judge issued a mandatory protection order for the criminal case, making it illegal for Bustos to contact Renee. 2 days later, Renee asked for even more court protection from her ex-boyfriend through a civil protection order. Renee wrote to the court about previous abuse at the hands of Bustos, including a time she was in the fetal position while he repeatedly punched her. She stated he was then wailing on me with a closed fist. Renee said she was scared about what he would do when he got out of jail.
We knew he was everywhere. He would be parked across the street from the clinic in a rental car. He went around this every which way he could, and he knew where she was every time.
10 days later, Pueblo police were called to the Southern Colorado clinic where Renee works. That's where court records say Jerome was arrested for violating the criminal protection order for stalking her in and around her work. He was jailed overnight and released the next day. 1 month later, in December, records show he called Renee's work attempting to get her fired. That's when police filed an arrest warrant for Bustos for stalking. But for 17 days, the time between the warrant being issued and Renee's murder, that warrant sat on the desk of Pueblo District Attorney Jeff Chostner, who says his office was in the process of reviewing evidence.
It turned from not domestic violence to flat out stalking her. I'm going to kill you. And he should have been arrested at that time.
13 Investigates also uncovered Bustos should have never had the gun he used to kill Renee, based on a state law passed last year, which says anyone with a domestic violence protection order is required to provide information on how many guns they have and where they are, and then give them up. In Renee's case, the criminal protection order shows this box is checked, requiring Bustos to give up his guns within 24 hours of the order being in place. But Bustos signed the document claiming he did not own a gun. It's unclear where the gun came from the night of the killing. Colorado law does not require further examination if an accused abuser says they don't have a gun.
We know that the likelihood of a domestic violence victim being shot and killed increases substantially after a case has been filed and someone has been arrested. And so when that person gets out of jail, there's a lot of anger.
Denver District Attorney Beth McCann says she's the only DA in Colorado with an investigator whose full-time job is ensuring that firearms are turned over when people are mandated to do so by the courts. In 2021, the Denver County investigator took 141 guns away from 48 people who were possessing weapons in violation of a court order. Pueblo District Attorney Jeff Chosner says this type of investigator would be helpful for his office, but he does not have the funds to hire one.
We are really preventing homicide and also suicide with this program.
13 Investigates also found that Renee wasn't the first woman to accuse Bustos of physical abuse. And court records from 3 years before Renee's murder reveal experts believe Bustos could kill. 2 of his ex-wives filed for protection orders against him, one in 2005 and another in 2019. In that 2019 case, an assessment was completed that concluded that ex-wife was in danger of being murdered by Bustos. He was arrested in that case and charged with violating protection orders, but was never convicted. The judge overseeing the case canceled the trial during the pandemic and dismissed the case when Bustos died.
It's happening over again, and then the cycle repeats itself. Has there been any talk in the lawmaker realm of things in your conversations of making violation of a protection order more than a Class 2 misdemeanor?
We in the Domestic Violence Fatality Review Board, we in public policy roles have an obligation to keep looking at our protection order system. Is it working as it's intended to, or is there room for improvement? I am open to that conversation. We need that conversation, and we'll keep having it.
Renee's friends are now calling on the state and lawmakers to address failures in the system.
Laws need to change so that the judges and the police can act, in the best interest of the victim and not, just let the abuser just get a slap on the wrist. They failed her. She did everything right.
Renee's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Bustos estate. In that lawsuit, they asked for monetary damages to be paid to Renee's son, who is now growing up without a mother. Sean Rice, 13 Investigates.
A very important issue we'll continue following.